Hey everyone, welcome back. Many people think learning English is impossible, but that's not true. Let's do a quick test to see if you're ready.
English is actually one of the easiest languages to learn if you have a basic foundation. With the right approach, you can improve quickly.
So here's the deal. We're going to have a short conversation. If you understand it, that means you have a solid foundation. Ready? Let's go.
Hey Gwen, have you been to that new cafe in town?
Oh yeah, I went last weekend. The coffee is amazing. You should try it.
Sounds delicious. What's your favorite drink there?
Definitely the iced latte. It has the perfect balance of creamy and strong. What about you?
I like the chai latte, but I'm still looking for a better one.
Yeah, chai lattes can be hit or miss. Some places don't get the spice balance right.
Totally. So, dear listeners, could you understand our conversation? If yes, great job. That means you already have a strong foundation in English.
Exactly. It was a simple chat, but if you got it, you're on the right track.
So why do people think English is hard to learn?
A lot of learners focus too much on grammar and vocabulary memorization instead of real conversations.
Right. You don't need to be perfect. The key is to understand and communicate, like we just did.
So don't stress over the little details. Keep listening, speaking, and practicing. The rest will follow naturally.
Now let's talk about why learning the wrong way makes English feel harder than it really is.
One big reason is that everyone learns differently.
Exactly. Using the wrong method for your learning style can slow you down and cause frustration.
There are 4 main learning styles. Once you find yours, learning English gets much easier.
First up, visual learners. They learn best through images, diagrams, and videos.
If that's you, try watching movies with subtitles, creating mind maps, or using color-coded notes.
Flashcards with images and words are great too. Seeing the information helps it stick.
Next, auditory learners. They learn best by listening and speaking.
Podcasts, voice recordings, and conversation groups are perfect for them. Shadow speaking with native content is another great trick.
Now, kinesthetic learners. They learn by doing and moving.
If that's you, try acting out words, role-playing, or practicing vocabulary while walking or stretching.
And finally, reading, writing learners. They learn best by writing things down.
Keeping a journal, summarizing articles, or rewriting conversations can be super effective.
The key takeaway? Learning the wrong way can slow you down, but the right method makes a huge difference.
Some say it can make learning up to 4 times faster. So find what works for you and stick with it.
And remember, you might have a mix of styles. Experiment and see what helps you learn best. Let's tackle a big myth. Many English learners think they can't speak well because they don't have a huge vocabulary.
Yeah, they feel like if they don't know thousands of words, they'll never master English. But that's not true at all.
Exactly. Native speakers don't use a massive range of words daily. They mostly rely on a small set of common words.
For example, instead of fancy words like commence or embark, just say start, simple and clear.
And if something is very big, you don't need 10 different words. Just use huge or massive and you're good.
Right? Those words work in almost every situation, so you don't need to memorize tons of synonyms.
Here's a cool trick, the 80-20 rule. About 20% of English words make up 80% of daily conversations.
If you focus on learning that 20%, you'll understand and speak way more than you think.
The key is prioritizing the most commonly used words, verbs, connectors, and everyday phrases. We'll dive into this more later, but for now, don't stress about rare words. Stick to the basics and you'll be fine. Now, here's a simple trick to sound more natural. Just copy native speakers.
Exactly. Think about how babies learn. They don't study grammar. They just listen and mimic what they hear.
So, start by listening to real spoken English, movies, podcasts, or YouTube videos.
And don't just listen, imitate. Copy their tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. This is called shadowing.
Shadowing works like this. Listen to a sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly as the speaker said it.
This helps your brain absorb natural speech patterns. For example, instead of just reading, "How's it going?" listen to how it's actually said. "How's it going?" Then copy the intonation.
This technique doesn't just improve pronunciation, it teaches you how words blend together in real speech.
Like saying "gonna" instead of "going to" or "winner" instead of "winter." These little changes make your English sound more natural.
It's not just about sounds. Pay attention to rhythm, emotional tone, and even body language. Hand gestures and facial expressions matter too. Start with clear materials like news anchors or audiobooks. Once you're comfortable, move to casual content like vlogs or interviews. And start small. Listen to a short sentence, pause, repeat. Over time, it gets easier.
Try recording yourself and comparing it to the original speaker. You'll spot areas to improve.
Plus, you'll pick up natural phrases like, "What you doing?" instead of, "What are you doing?" or, "I don't know," instead of, "I don't know."
And don't stress about being perfect. Fluency comes before accuracy. Just focus on speaking comfortably.
Remember, English speakers around the world have different accents, so don't try to sound like just one region.
Over time, you'll start thinking in English patterns and speaking will feel automatic.
Keep practicing and you'll be sounding natural in no time. Now, let's talk about a huge game changer for your English: phrases.
If you've been building sentences word by word, you know it's slow and unnatural. Instead, focus on learning entire phrases that you can use instantly.
Native speakers don't think in single words, they think in chunks. Using phrases makes you sound more natural, helps you respond faster, and even reduces the mental effort of speaking.
Plus, it improves rhythm and intonation, so your English sounds more fluent.
So, what kind of phrases should you learn? Let's break it down. Social interactions. Nice to meet you. How's it going? See you around. Gratitude and apologies. Thanks a bunch. My bad.
These are super natural and easy to use. And if you want to level up your skills, check out our ebooks packed with practical phrases.
That's right. We've got 2 fantastic ebooks.
These will build your phrase library and help you respond naturally in any situation.
The best way to learn phrases? Context matters. Group phrases based on the situation. Greetings, asking questions, offering help.
And don't just memorize single responses. Learn entire exchanges for real conversations.
Also, focus on high-frequency phrases like, "You know what I mean?" or "Speaking of which." Natives use these all the time. For emotional expression, phrases like, "That must be tough," or "I know how you feel," help show empathy and sound more natural. Here's how to practice effectively. Keep a phrase journal. Write down useful phrases, note the context, and track variations from native speakers. Use them actively. Try starting conversations with new phrases and use them within 24 hours of learning them. Practice full dialogues. Don't just repeat one phrase. Learn how to connect them in conversation. Record yourself, listening. Back helps you spot areas for improvement.
As you improve, you'll learn to adapt phrases to different situations, formal versus informal, or changing tone depending on who you're talking to.
A couple of things to avoid. Don't translate directly from your native language. It won't sound natural. Don't overuse the same phrases too often. Variety makes your speech more engaging.
Also, keep in mind that some phrases are region-specific, so be mindful when learning new ones.
If you follow these tips, you'll respond faster, sound more natural, and adapt your speech with confidence.
Now let's bust another myth. Many people think learning English is hard after childhood. But here's the truth. Your brain never loses the ability to learn languages.
The problem? Traditional learning methods slow down this process. We focus too much on rules instead of absorbing the language naturally.
So how does your brain actually learn languages? By hearing English often. Your brain picks up patterns automatically through repeated exposure. By using words in real context. You don't memorize apple. You learn it in a sentence like, I'll have an apple for lunch. By making mistakes. Just like kids, we learn through trial and error. The more you speak, the faster you improve.
The key? Expose yourself to real English. Listen to podcasts, watch movies, and read in English.
Trust the process. Your brain is designed for language learning. You just need consistent exposure and practice.
So, do you still think learning English is hard? Remember, focus on phrases, not single words. Trust that your brain is built to absorb language naturally. The more real English you hear and use, the faster you'll improve.
And if you want to boost your skills, check out our ebooks full of practical conversation strategies.
Thanks for listening. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the journey.
See you in the next episode of Daily English Podcast.